Welcome to this edition of Headlines Nigeria on ITI, reaching you from our Abuja studios here in Nigeria. I am Grace Ukot. As usual, we'll bring to you summaries of news, business, politics and sports from our Nigerian dailies. We'll move over to the first paper of the day. Punch newspaper says, Jonathan unveils Golden Jubilee Anniversary logo. President Goodluck Jonathan has unveiled Nigeria's 50th independence anniversary logo, signaling the preparation for a grand ceremony on October 1. Unveiling the logo at a dinner on Tuesday, Jonathan said the ceremony brought to memory the vision of the nation's founding fathers. He said the anniversary was a celebration of peace, life, determination, and ability to remain as a nation in spite of all odds. Court voids el-Rufai's revocation of FCT land. An Abuja High Court has voided the 2005 revocation of a piece of land in Maitama District, Abuja, belonging to the Managing Director of Oceanic Bank PLC, Mr. John Abo, by a former Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Malam Nasir el-Rufai. In a ruling on Abo's application, Justice Adebukola Banjoko held that the action of the former FCT minister was illegal. Drama as Rep rejects court order. There was drama at the House of Representatives on Wednesday as a member of the House, Mr. Basi Etim, protested the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission to issue a certificate of return to his opponent, Mr. Emmanuel Obot. Etim, who is the Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Drugs, Narcotics and Financial Crimes, represents Uyo Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State, but the Court of Appeal in Calabar had sacked him from his seat. Federal government won't tolerate killing of EFCC operatives, AGF. The federal government has said that it will no longer tolerate the killing of the operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. To this end, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Mohammed Adoke, said that the ministry was working with the judiciary to ensure that renegades trying to frustrate the anti-graft war did not succeed. Abacha family sues federal government over criminal charge in Geneva. Two sons of the late Sani Abacha, Mohammed and Abba, on Wednesday dragged the federal government before a federal high court in Abuja, challenging the circumstances under which a criminal case was initiated against them in Geneva, Switzerland. In the suit, Mohammed and Abba averred that the statements used as evidence against them in court were not obtained legally by the government's special investigation panel. And moving over to Vanguard newspaper, Senate seeks information on Jega others. The Senate yesterday called on Nigerians who have anything against nominees for the post of chairman as well as national commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission that will disqualify them from occupying those positions to come forward with such information. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Information, Senator Ayogu Eze, said the screening process of the nominees would be done transparently and in the full glare of the nation. Education stakeholders brainstorm on national language policy. On Tuesday last week, some of the nation's renowned language professionals and education stakeholders gathered in Abuja to discuss the procedure and modalities for the development of a national language policy for Nigeria. At the end of the roundtable, a communique was issued which recommends that the national and state houses of assembly should implement the provisions of the 1999 constitution that stipulates the use of English, Hausa, Yoruba and Igbo at the federal level and English and other national languages at the state level. And moving over to politics, next newspaper says reps tell Bankole to resign. Members of the House of Representatives cutting across the 6 geographical zones yesterday gave the Speaker, Dimeji Bankole, 7 days to resign or be disgraced out of office. The representatives, who call themselves the Progressives, said at a press conference in Abuja that Mr. Bankole's leadership is corrupt, inept and high-handed. Vanguard newspaper says impeachment. Assembly directs CJ to constitute 7-man panel. The Bayelsa House of Assembly has asked the State Chief Judge, Justice Kate Abiri, to constitute a 7-member panel to investigate allegations against the Deputy Governor. The directive followed a resolution by the Assembly in Yenagoa on Tuesday, based on a motion by Mr. Fini Angaye, representing Kolokuma Opokuma Constituency 2. Political dice throwers in court. It is now more than 3 years since the 2007 general elections were held. The Constitution and the Electoral Act empowered those who are not satisfied with the way elections are handled by the Independent National Electoral Commission and any other concerned parties to take a petition to the Election Tribunal and later to the Court of Appeal if necessary. In Nigeria, therefore, an electoral process is not complete until the combatants have exhausted all these steps if the need arises. 2011, I'm not part of IBB's campaign, Edoja. Special advisor to the Delta State Governor on mass mobilization, Mr. Solomon Edoja, has dissociated himself from the Ibrahim Babangida 2011 campaign organization in Delta State. Edoja, in a statement yesterday, said on resumption from his annual vacation abroad, his attention was drawn to a communique by a group parading itself as IBB Campaign Organization 2011. Ordinarily, one would have ignored such publication, especially as the authors who paraded falsehood by linking top government functionaries in order to achieve undeserved support have repeatedly denied referring to him in that publication. Punch newspaper, Jonathan disturbed by kidnapping in Southeast. Barely 6 months to the 2011 general elections, the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday expressed concern about the high level of insecurity in some parts of the country. The council's lamentation followed a series of reports submitted to it by relevant security agencies. Sun newspaper says, why North should produce president in 2011, PDP chieftain. People's Democratic Party governorship aspirant in Imo State has said that the rotation of political offices is the best for a multi-ethnic nation like Nigeria. In an interview with Daily Sun, the aspirant maintained that it is the turn of the North to produce the president in 2011, as espoused by the founding fathers of the party. Business News, Sun newspaper. The Director General of the West African Monetary Institute, Dr. Temitope Oshikoya, has said that a common currency for the sub-region was a foregone issue going by the fresh impetus the project was receiving from member countries. However, he told Daily Sun in Abuja that certain criteria must be met to speed up the process. Jostle for NCC job intensifies as Ndukwe exits. More than 2 months after the term of the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Mr. Ernest Ndukwe, ended, President Goodluck Jonathan has yet to name his successor. This has created ample room for jostling for the position, which is considered the most influential in a sector that had in the past 10 years attracted investments in the excess of $16 billion. Traditional rulers sue federal government over 500 billion naira NDDC fund. 21 traditional rulers from oil-producing communities have dragged the federal government before a federal high court in Abuja to compel the government to release about 500 billion naira Niger Delta Development Commission Fund for the development of the region. And now on sports, Punch newspaper. World Cup. Mark leads federal government's delegation to South Africa. President of the Senate, Mr. David Mark, is leading the federal government delegation to South Africa for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. A circular by the Secretary to the government of the Federation, Alhaji Ahmed Yayale, said the delegation was scheduled to depart Nigeria on Wednesday for South Africa, ahead of the World Cup opening ceremony on Friday in Johannesburg. Nigeria-Argentina clash worries FIFA. The Crunch Group B opener between Nigeria and Argentina, scheduled to hold at the Ellis Park Stadium in Johannesburg on Saturday, is giving FIFA a serious cause for concern. Correspondents learned that many Nigerians are resident where the match will be played. Hence, a huge turnout is anticipated. The friendly encounter between the Super Eagles and North Korea witnessed an ugly crowd incident with no fewer than 20 fans sustaining injuries. NFF wants support for Eagles. The Nigeria Football Federation has called on Nigerians to support the Super Eagles as the team faces Argentina on Saturday at Ellis Park Stadium in Johannesburg. World Cup fever grips South Africa. The fever of the 2010 World Cup, kicking off on Friday, has gripped South Africa with the whole country abuzz with events leading to Friday's opening ceremony. News of the championship is dominating the media, with several pages in local newspapers devoted to the event. Top of the news is the likely appearance of one of the country's icons, former President Nelson Mandela. Well, not only South Africa is catching the World Cup fever, I can't wait to see Nigeria beat Argentina on Saturday. So I'm catching the fever too. But log on tomorrow for a fresh edition of Headlines Nigeria. I am Grace Ukot. Thanks for being a part of this.